Good evening. So my talk is on 3D printing and maker spirit. So what exactly the maker thing is like? Okay, if you make something, what is the process? Why we should make something, right? Everyone expect us to make something. Someone will say, okay, you please make us say a tea or coffee or something. Right from there we start something, right? So that's how the whole making thing starts. So why there is so much focus on making, on learning? Because by making something we learn something, and by learning something we improve our lives, right? So we'll discuss this in a little bit more detail. Then another thing is stream education. So science, technology, engineering and mathematics. All this you will learn typically while making something. So when you learn, to learn this easiest way is to make something and learn by making and doing it. So what are the common stages of making? So let's say we want to make some simple thing. We want to make a robot with Arduino. We should have some sensors and one motor, and we want to make some simple robot. So what are the stages of making, right? So we'll just go through each stages, and we'll see what happens in each stage, right? First thing is whether should I make a robot or not, right? Or something like I want to make this or not make this. First I will be half-hearted, and I want to make sure that I want to become full-hearted and start making something. So next thing I question will, what all material I require, what all tools I require, right? Whether I have budget for that or not. And most of the thing will be like, okay, how I arrange the budget if I don't have the budget. So those are some of the starting point from the maker thing. Once we find out, okay, I need this much things, then I have to find out from where I can get all the tools, whether I can get it from my college laboratory or my office laboratory, or can I buy from some street or online shop or something. So you have to discover something, right? So the discovery process will start. While discovering, you will also learn and interact with many people. Okay, do you have this thing? Okay, I want some simple connector. This kind of connector is there. So during this making process, you start understanding what is available and what is not available, what is the typical price of that, whether it is affordable or not available. The next thing is the budget. After finding out, okay, this is going to cost me say $2,000 to make a simple robot, then I have to find out whether it is in budget. If I don't have budget, then what I should do, what are the alternative solution, or what can be that whole will give us a market discovery, right? You will find out what are the solutions available in the market, and indirectly you will learn what can be done and what is available, right? And okay, now see, somehow I'll manage the budget, but still I will go and negotiate the deal, get the material, find out the shops, buy the material. Somehow I go to next step. Next thing is, once we buy all the things, we find out that this all things are not working. I was expecting a bigger motor and small wheel and bigger motor, and somehow it is not working. So we have to this is the next step of while making something. And then we don't have a particular tool. Okay, we find out the screwdriver which is required is a Phillips screwdriver, and what I have is a regular screwdriver. So all this again a discovery process. So this is still a starting phase of a making something. We are evaluating what is the exact process while making anything. And for example, we are taking a small robot with the Arduino. So for example, for a robot, we will require some small sensor board, small motors and wheels, something to hold Arduino and motors, all of them together, right? So for that, whatever we require now, this will make a simple list, or rather we on professional manner will say something called a bill of material, and then we will find out vendors for this and go and buy this thing, right? So this is a process. So after that we find out that the tools is not there, and sometimes we go and borrow the tools or get it from say some lab or some neighbor or something, and try to fix something. Then okay, we will either break the tool, we will break the part, something will not fit again. We'll see there is a 2.54 mm pitch, and we purchase something with a 2 mm pitch and some no. At the end of the day, somehow we will manage and go to next stage. Is the finally it will be assembled. Now next thing is, once we assemble and we start, then switch on the thing, it will not work. Why? Because the power is not connected. Power is wrongly connected. A battery is already died. Something will come. So we will have to see and again evaluate and debug, start debugging. This is a process, debugging process 001, right? So after that there is okay, power is coming, but the connection should be deeper. So all this is can be done and learned during the making very small robot also, or something very simple thing also. So this is a stage 3 of the making process. Once we find out the power is there, but this thing is not working, some motor is not working, oh, motor is working, but the sensor is not working. So all this will keep happening, and finally, eventually, somehow we'll make say, okay, motor is working independently, sensor is working independently, but together they are not working. So this is a regular experience I have with the starting people. But then we find out, okay, there is something is a wrong connection, right connection. We do again somehow this, or we go through all the stages, and finally we will end up with something which is find out, oh, the connections are wrong, firmware is wrong. Or we debug all these things. While debugging this, we learn further more things. While instead of only making something, we find out what are the methods to debugging, what is the procedure for debugging in the code or in electronics hardware, what are the typical tool, whether it is multimeter or oscilloscope or something. We will learn all that tool, how to operate them. So while making a small project also, indirectly and directly, we learn so many things. And typically, whether we, okay, shall I, if it is not working, shall I give it up, shall I consult someone, take a help from internet, and there will be stages will come when you are making some big complicated project, say for example a bigger scale project, then typically these things will be coming in the face. Whether and 80% projects are typically dropped out in large scale thing. When you are trying to make some big hardware, typically 80% of the projects will fail. And you should not expect that your first or second or third prototype will be working prototype. I mean, you should give a really good time and do that. Again, we are still in the making process, and we'll give another try, get it reviewed, maybe connection review, software review, maybe by online we take another software, we Google search, and then somehow we'll make it and work it. That's still that. And if it is damaged some part, we have to replace it. We will find out, okay, next time when we procure the part, we should buy 1 or 2 pieces extra. These are the parts which can be easily damaged. This car typically don't damage much. Say motors and all typically not damaged, but say small connector can easily damage. So all this thing we'll figure out while making. So these are learnings we get it from while making something. And typically I would suggest you should cleanly restart. Typically you should give iterations and iterations of this thing. Make a more and more number of iterations to that will give you a step closer to your final achievement of your object. And finally it will work. If not ending, you should use this dialogue. Picture abhi baki hai. So you should restart the process and make sure it completes, and should not give up. You should find out some solution. Right, that's the spirit of making. Right, so this is what I was trying to. First, one of the main part of my talk is this. So this is the typical spirit of maker. So you should not expect that your typical prototype will finish in first or single shot. Most of the big corporates, say for example Microsoft, Apple or Nokia, when they release their devices, they go for around 8 to 10 prototypes in certain cases. Even for something as simple as the plastic enclosure, there are companies I have seen going for 8 to 10 trials and improving on each and every trial. You see your prototype 1, 2 and 3, and you should obviously see the improvements in finishing, aesthetic or timeline of making, or quality of the product will improve. So this is a typical characteristic. So they have a more failure. So why I'm saying, so when they release one device, typically they have 10 devices or 10 prototypes failed, or they declare that it is passed at a certain level, but still there are 1 or 2 bugs which they want to recover in next prototype, right? So they have typically more number of failures and then they launch the finally successful product, right? And that product typically gets acceptance in market. So this learning will only comes when you continuously make and continuously doing that. And this requires a lot of patience, because you are losing your time, you are losing your money, your competitors might already release the product. So you should have very, very high amount of patience to deal with all this thing, right? So, and typically the procedures which are you follow, okay, this is blog and someone has put up a procedure on website, okay, this is the way to make something. Typically you should not expect that all of them will be true, and if you follow you will end up that, because you might be using certain assumptions. They might have used certain different type of parts or different type of quality of the part, and you might be using a different type of part. So there's something as simple as that. You buy a original Arduino and you buy some duplicate or that Arduino, and you see there may be some small variation. Maybe the temperature range may not be perfect, or some small current capacity on the lines will be differ. So if you see the quality of the connector which is there in the original Arduino and which is there on the market, there will be slightly difference. So the current capacity will differ. Now this is something which is not documented. So your author which is say, okay, using this Arduino you can make this kind of motor thing, and you try to use that same duplicate Arduino and try to follow the same procedure, you may not able to get the end result. Why? Because the current is not able, the connectors are not able to drive such a current, right? As simple as that. But these things will never be documented somewhere. So what are the typical learnings? Why something should, someone should follow something and try to make something and continuously make something? Is to like have patience. They will learn how to keep a patience and how to make a good assumption. Typically, someone asks someone, okay, how much time it takes to make something? They will give some rough estimation. Those rough estimations are normally failed in India. That is what my observation. No one will value that, okay, it will take so many days to make something, a nice device. So, or something, say, why the Apple release their product only once in a year, not every 3 months. Or Samsung has such a big team, then they are able to produce only, say, 10 or 15 phones a year. Because it requires a lot of amount of effort, and those require a patience. So things will fail in time and again, and it's not expected. You should not expect the world will be fair to you. World will be unfair to you. You will get a bad suppliers. You will get a bad product. You might end up in some trouble. You might burn some connectors, batteries, some capacitors or resistors or some so on, right? And while making something, you will learn team spirit. So if you are making together with someone, you will have some collaboration, you will build a team. That is why a lot of this team education and the corporate also are running behind the maker projects, because they want to, while two people join together and make something, they bond together, right? So typically issues what I have seen in Indian makers, this is more focus on, because I have interacted with many Indian makers, like at least right from student till late I have interacted with many people, and most of them they have this kind of issues. So typically they will assume something should be done within 1 or 2 days. There isn't any like, if I don't do this project within 3 days or something, or it can be done in 2 days, so I will start before my deadline or something. They will not plan in advance. That's the typically issue I see in Indian makers. They will not value the amount of effort it will take and plan that way. They typically don't make design on paper. This is just a motor connection and sensor connection. Why I need a CAD diagram or paper diagram for this? So this is one of the major aspect, that people don't even make a proper design and diagram on paper before they actually go in. They have just too overconfident themselves. Then they typically show, out of budget, they will go and say spend some other money on other thing, recreational thing, but they will typically not value the maker thing, because they are making once for life and they are planning to go and show it to 100 people that I built this thing, I built this small robot, but they will not put some good budget on this. They will want to have it as cheap as possible. They will avoid taking any professional service, such as a simple cutting thing. They will try to cut it by themselves or unprofessionally way, even if they are not. So their aesthetic will lose, and they will not able to achieve the next level. If you see a lot of the Kickstarter project or something which are there in the US, you will see most of the people are taken the services, certain part of them done by outside group. Not everything to be done. You focus on one certain section, and where you are weakness or you don't have a proper tool, you can get those things done outside. And major the issue is again in aesthetic. None of the makers will focus too much on aesthetic. They will just try to complete the project and this is demoable or showable project. So so this is my mostly on a talk on the maker side, and now I'll focus on 3D printing, and then we will go how the 3D printing and maker things together work. So 3D printing is basically a process of making a solid object. So everything what we do is actually in 3D printing is end up we are trying to make something. We are trying to make some plastic part or some other parts while making some. So it's called additive manufacture, where we lay multiple layer of plastic and join them together automatically, and then the full final object will come. Now. Many people don't know, but one of the first, most of the self 3D printer use Arduino as one of their core motherboard or control board. So the one which is there in the blue color board inside this is the Arduino Uno board, Mega board. This is one of the major famous control board used in most of the do-it-yourself 3D printer, and that is how the whole do-it-yourself 3D printer evolved. And if you see, the top board is just a stepper motor controllers and some certain MOSFETs to control certain things within the 3D printer. But most of the 3D printer, do-it-yourself 3D printer internally use a Arduino Mega board as an internal part. And that is how the typically 3D printing and Arduino are somehow connected. 3D printing was initially a do-it-yourself between 2008 till 2012, and that is how the people become familiar with it. There was a Maker board company which released one of their earliest 3D printer as open source hardware, and people started picking up it, and everyone started, okay, we'll make our own 3D printer, and then using that 3D printer we'll make certain part and show it something which we can use it in our project or something. That's how the overall concept and philosophy evolved. While making something, we always learn something indirectly. That is why we should keep making something. So we start with a small robot today, then we can go ahead with up to an electrical car within same phenomena. We'll should keep pushing our boundaries, right? If you can make it very easily, we should go to the next stage and give a slightly more detailed specification or more complicated specification and try to build. Say tomorrow you say start with a small project of making a robot and then build an electrical car using the same model. You will figure out there is a lot of issues and you have to scale up your overall architecture or something, and then that is how the whole thing works out, right? And about myself, okay, so I started working as a consultant, and I did a lot of consultancy around consumer electronics hardware design. So I used to provide solutions around how they can make a prototype for electronics hardware. They can go for round 1, 2, 3 and make a commercial hardware. And initial we used to use all the open source motherboards such as say Arduino, BeagleBoard and such boards, and using those boards, off the shelf board, we used to provide I used to provide customers solutions and for their commercial projects. And eventually from there I started making 3D printers. Today I run Cycloid System, and along with my 5 colleagues we manufacture desktop 3D printer in Bangalore, and we provide 3D printing on demand to our more than 100 customers in last 3 years. So that's where we stand right now. So we can catch me on Twitter at Viral Sachdev. Hope you guys start making something and follow those 6 slides and get in trap and keep trying and finally make something. Okay.